What's up, you guys? It's your girl Lethe, and I'm going to get right into the video. This has been highly requested, and I'm so excited that we are finally doing content, and let's get right into it. So today we will be making a wig. I have been making my own wigs for about 7 years. I'm self-taught. A lot of YouTube tutorials help me out, so thank you guys for that. I can't tell you what videos I did watch because I watched numerous of videos, and of course I just practice myself. So I'm going to be giving you guys some tips that I learned along the way and how I make my wigs, and hopefully help you guys with making your own wigs in the future. So I'm going to show you guys all of the products that I use to create the wig, starting off with my wig stand and dome. Now throughout the videos I will be giving you all some tips. It took me a while to get an official wig stand. At first I used a styrofoam wig head, and I just simply placed it in my lap to create my wigs. I've only had this wig stand for about maybe 2 years now. I can honestly say that it does help, but for about 5 years I honestly just put the wig between my legs and created my wigs, and it works so far. So if you don't have the money to invest in a wig stand yet, just get a styrofoam head and use that head to sew the wig. Now I don't know the measurements of the head or anything, and I don't even measure my caps. It's kind of something that I still need to learn, so I can't give you that information because I'm still learning that. Okay, let me show you. So I got the thread and the needle. I do only use one needle because I tend to lose needles while I am sewing, so I stick with just one. I do have a comb, and this is just to smooth the hair out as I'm going. I do have clips because I do use a closure. I have some T-pins to help hold the cap to the head, and also to help hold the track to help me glide through making the wig. So I'm going to start with the cap. The caps that I like to use are the deluxe mesh caps. And I like the ones that already have a band inside. So this is the cap that I use. Okay, let's get into this hair. So every time I make a wig, people ask me what kind of hair I'm using with my wigs. A lot of the times I am using beauty supply store hair. I want to let you guys know that most suppliers are the same. Where the hair normally comes from the same source. You have different distributors and vendors. So a lot of the hair is the same, and I try to explain that to people. Some people don't believe it, but it is. So to show you guys that most of the hair is the same, I got all 4 different products. I did not want to get all of the same brand or anything because I wanted to show how the texture is the same, how it blends the same, how the colors are the same. So I got 4 different, I want to say distributors, vendors, and all from the hair store. So I'm going to start with, this is the Bare and Natural Natural Black 18-inch, and it says it's a 7A, which is good. It says it's unprocessed and all of that stuff. So Bare Natural. Then I got the Halt by Model Natural Dark, which is the same thing as Natural Black. Again, straight 18-inch, all natural, unprocessed. Okay, I got the Empire Human Hair. Now these ones says like virgin and all that stuff. This one just simply says human hair. And I got it in a 613 because we're going to do a skunk wig. So I got it in a 613, you guys, and I'm going to show you how this is a sensational collection. People talk so bad about sensationals, but a lot of these brands, they're all just the same hair. Okay, and then I got a 4x5 lace closure by HD. So these are all, as you can see, by different companies, and I can guarantee I'm going to be having this wig for about 4 years. All of my wigs. The only wig that I had a problem with is that red wig, and it's because I overprocessed my bleaching. I didn't buy a 613 to make the wig, so it's kind of over bleached, and that's my fault, so I don't blame myself. But let's get back into the video of making the wig. So here's my dome, my little dome cap, or whatever. I like to take the bands, and I like to go ahead and put them in a slot. This does nothing but keep the elastic still. That's all. I'm going to put the cap on my head first. So this is how the cap is. This one is not like a stretch cap. This is why I don't measure, because I'm going to stand up a little closer. This is why I don't measure. I can't get my words together. I don't measure my wigs because I don't get a stretchy cap. I get I got a mesh cap that does not stretch, and this is typically my head size. That's why I don't measure. But I know that's not going to be with everyone. Also, some people's hair is thicker than mine, so that is why you have to measure, because if people have like thicker hair, it can make like the cap super tight, and you don't want that. But yeah. Anywho, all right. She don't have a name, so don't ask. I normally just take her, put her on the head. I'm going to show y'all from the side. I keep the line in the middle, and I kind of like pull it up and drop it down. Now, this is the part where people are like, well, how do you know how far your forehead is, you know? And again, I'm self-taught, so I kind of can look at the cap and see like, okay, that's my forehead. Ooh, this cap ripped. So I take a pen. I think I already got the one. I'm a pin right there in the middle. I'm a pin where the ears would normally be. So the ears would normally be right here. And then I'm going to pin the back. And stretch your cap on the dome head. Stretch it down. Make sure it's a flat cap. Sorry, y'all. I'm trying to keep it in one angle. But normally I flip her all day. Like, she's gonna get flipped 1,000 times. Okay, so this is her. Hey girl. She doesn't have a name because the wigs give her a name, and we haven't finished the wig. So this is what she normally does, what she looks like. Okay, so now that I have the cap down, I'm going to go ahead and rinse all of my hair in some type of shampoo or conditioner. I think I'm going to do it with just conditioner. No, I'm going to do it with shampoo. So I'm going to rinse all of my hair in some shampoo right now. I do recommend that you rinse your hair before you install your hair, either if it's a sew-in or wig or anything like that. Rinse your hair first. Do not just put that directly on your head. This came from a factory. Why would you not want to clean it first? You know, it doesn't make sense. Okay, so I wanted y'all to see, look at the color of that water. That's from one rinse with shampoo. Look at that water. It's brown, literally. So that's why it's important to rinse your hair. The hair is washed. I went ahead and washed the hair twice. Because that water is brown. And I understand that it was brown because I washed all the bundles. Like, I put all the bundles in the water together instead of washing them one by one. But honey, who all day to do that? So, I let these air dry throughout the day, you know? I let my air dry. Brush through and detangle. I'm going to put this one right on the cap because we're about to sew her down. And I also think with the weft being wet, it actually lets the thread slip easy. I do have a hard time sewing because I'm not an aggressive sewer. I take my time. So the wet weft lets the thread slip. And if y'all came and y'all thought this was going to be a professional tutorial, this is my first one. We're going to do this my way. Now, look at these bundles. Remember, they're two different companies. Look at that. Can y'all tell the difference? Cannot. But we're just going to brush through the bundles. Then brush right out. Y'all might still see some soap, but it's okay because I'm going to wash the hair again when it's in the hair altogether. I don't know why I wash it so many times, but I like that process. I like to make sure it's clean even though it's my head. I break out a lot from just stuff on my scalp, so yeah. This is 613, y'all. Like, this is just 613. The way it look, this is just it. This is it. Like, I could not describe 613 any other way. It looks like literally horsehair when you wet it, because it's a very processed hair. Like, you have to think about it. Even the company you get 613 from, they have to also process the hair. So, but I prefer to buy my 613s now instead of processing my 613s by myself because they perfected their process. I have not. So I just go ahead and buy it. Pay a little $20 little difference. Call it a day. But let's get into it. The first thing you want to sew on is the closure. I'm going to tilt this back like this, but I'm going to explain the heck out of it. You want to take your closure and you want to put it at least like, what is that, like half an inch above the wig cap. And then I put one right in the middle. And then tug it to the back. And remember to pull just a little. Not too tight, but enough to make it flat. And then I'm going to braid the closure. I'm going to roll it right down to the front. So pull from the side and the front, make sure it's flat. Make sure you're pinning every. So basically what I did, I just pinned the back. And now I'm going to pull it and pin the front. Making sure it is flat. I'm going to show y'all in a second after I braid it down. Because you might have to do it a few times. And that's just fine. Ouch. Hang there. Okay. Corn roll it down. The middle. Just going to keep the hair out your wig. I do kind of like an under braid. Okay, the back is kind of up, but it's flat. Like if you were to pull on it, you will see that it's flat, okay? So I sew one side at a time. So I'm going to sew from the front to the middle, and then from the front to the middle. So I'm going to do one side and come back and do the other. Alright, so you're going to thread your needle, and you're going to make the smallest knot. I only do mine once. And you're going to cut the small... you cut the rest of the thread off the tip, but don't cut it to the knot. I go under the track and the cap so that my knot will be at the base. And I come up. And I do that again, right there at the front. This time, I'm going to pull the thread through the loop, okay? That is going to secure the thread right there. Okay, now as you sew, you want to pull the track towards you and down, but not too tight. So under, you're going to go under the net and through the thing, the lace, and pull. Not too tight. And so I secure the knot maybe once or twice, and then I just do some stitching, some just straight through stitching. And when I say straight through, that means not adding the knot. And then I might add a knot, which is going through the loop. I try to go through 1 to 2 holes in the mesh. You see how taut that is? You can use your comb to like pull the hair out the way. Normally when you comb the hair, it'll pull it out of the knots if you get some in them, so don't worry about it. I need a manicure. And see how it fails so seamlessly. You can actually just pull the hair out if you want to. But like I said, when you brush the hair and stuff, it's going to come out. Alright. I'm going to lift that, but I'm not going to move it because I still have to do the back. Alright, 1 time and 2 times. So that's just like pulling it through the loop twice. And I do this at the ends. And that's going to secure it to go back. Then I'm going to do the back. So from one end to the next, I'm just going to lift these up. I'm not going to pull them out. And I'm going to lay it flat. So this side is done and this side is done. And now we're just doing the back. Okay, so I did a knot there. So this should be good to lift because I'm at the back. So it's kind of like if you ever really sewed, you know, you keep the pin in it until you go past it. Then I'm going to do a knot. I'm going to go through maybe like 1 or 2 without a knot. And I'm not putting my stitch right at the edge. I'm going kind of in the lace a little bit. I'm not doing it right at the, you know, the edge of the lace because you don't want it to rip. So kind of go in that lace just a little bit. And that is how I stitch. I'm going to be doing the same stitching, which is the under method, even for my tracks. So go through a hole. That's going to make a secure knot. Some people do secure knots throughout the entire wig. I do not. Now, some people would do, like, cut it off and then sew from here to here. I'm not. I'm going to just keep going back because, you know what? It should lay flat. This is one of those things you have to learn how to perfect, you know? I want it to be flat. I am going down the cap a little bit more to make it flat. And that's something you can learn. Because remember, we're going to cut the cap. We're going to cut the cap under the lace. So I'm going down the cap more to make it flat. So it's basically like pulling this excess underneath it. And we'll cut that. You'll see. I'm putting that right here. That's going to secure all of that net under the cap. This is normal. And by the time we get to that corner, it should be flat again. Yep, see? Oh, y'all can't. I'm sorry. Okay, so basically what I was doing, I was going low in the holes and pulling them up to the lace. And I was bunching in the cap under the lace. So if like I would go down here if I needed to bring all of that up. But it's flat again, so I can go right here and go in. And since we're getting close to the end, I'm going to do 2 with the knots, which is basically just taking the thread through the loop. And this one, I'm going to do a double knot because it's going to be my last stitch. All right, you see I have a little bit, and I don't know if y'all can really see that clear. You see how I got a little bit of bunch? I'm going to go down a little bit and pull that up under the net. And that's going to smooth out the net, the cap. Please follow me when I say different terminologies. Y'all know that the net is the cap. Y'all know that the lace is the lace. I might say cap, I might say net. So this is actually, I did 3 knots here. So I'm trying to see, do I really want to add a 3rd knot? Let me pull it tight. I think we're going to add a 3rd knot just to secure it. Uh-oh. I'm going to go back out, come back in. There we go. Then you want to look at your flat closure. I'm sorry. See how flat she is? She flat all the way around. Flat. No bumps. No extra net, cap, or anything. You can take all these pins out. You don't need them no more. I think I'm going to leave that one in. Is this one? Yeah, that one holding something down. Alright, so basically I want my skunk to be on my right side and then my left ear. So we have determined that this is my ear, right? So when I get here, I'm going to add some blonde or 613. But for now, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to add I'm gonna add I'm gonna add 3 rows from the crown to the back of the lace of 613 to add the skunk stripe, because I'm gonna do a skunk stripe sew-in wig situation. You can use it for both methods. Okay, so just like with the closure, I'm gonna go under, and I'm gonna put my track right at the on the lace. I am gonna do that. So I go under so that the knot is not under the track but under the cap itself. And then of course, oopsie daisy, I'm gonna go right in there and go right here. I use my finger to help me pull through and pull up. Y'all hear how it slides? That's because it's wet. And basically, I'm just gonna do that a few times. If you ever pull your thread and it bundles up like that, stop pulling and just pull it out. Because if you try to continue to pull in, you're going to create a knot, and that's what you don't want. I go through my tracks weft. Some people don't. I do. I see that that makes it last longer because it's kind of like not putting too much tension on the cap, but it's keeping the tension right in the weft. So that's why I go through the weft. But again, these are some styles that I picked up. You don't have to. If you feel like, I'm going to show y'all what some people do. Some people go under and hook it in like that. To me, that puts too much tension on the actual weave. So I like to go through the weft. And you don't have to do your stitching this close together. You can spread them apart. But again, I like my wigs to last for 4 to 6 years. I literally got a 7-year-old wig in my closet. This method works wonder. As long as you take care of the hair, the wig is not going to go anywhere. Real talk, you guys. Real talk. I'm telling you, man, even if you get jammed up, don't mention my name. Don't mention my name. If you get jammed up, don't mention my name. All right, you guys. So 3 tracks for my skunk because I did want it to be thick and like very noticeable. Look at the shedding. That's 613 for y'all. All right, so basically now I'm going to go to the back of the head because I do want a skunk stripe in the back as well. And then I'm going to show you guys how I do the tracks in order, because I know some people like to draw lines and I don't do that. So I'm about to add maybe 2 blonde stripes from here to here, and then I will go ahead and show y'all how I get on up in the head. Alright, you guys, so let's work on laying the tracks. Now, with your wig cap, if you get them with the elastic bands inside of them, you're going to make sure you sew from right above the elastic bands. So basically, I like to go from one side to the next. I always just pin the hair up. It makes it easier to maneuver with the hair up here instead of all the way down there. Okay, so I have a little knot at the end of my thread. I'm going to start right here at the corner. And you see with the blind right here, so I'm going to work around that. And then the next track, when I come back, it will be straight across. So I'm going to start right here at the corner. I'm going to go through the weft. Go in the net of the cap. And pull the thread through. And you just want to pull it out just to make sure your thread is going through evenly. And I always just hold this part tight. So raise the tracks up. Okay, that's better. And I just hold it in, and I kind of just, now I'm just going to flow through. And I'm going to make a knot right here. So remember I said making a knot is basically just taking the thread through the middle loop of both, you know, whatever. Sorry, you guys, if I don't know the terminology for sewing. Basically, when you pull the thread through, it makes this little loop in the middle, and you want to just pull it through that, and it's going to make a knot. And you can either do it 1 time or 2 times. Most people do it 2. I do it 1. It's, again, up to you. And we're just going to flow through. You can take your needle and pull some hair out if you catch it, but more than likely when you brush your hair and comb your hair, whatever, it'll come out. But just keep flowing through. The reason I hold my thread so tight is so that it won't tangle, and then I won't have excess thread sticking out, because that can happen. So just gonna keep going. I'm gonna pull through. So I really don't have a technique on when I pull through to secure. I would say every 1 or 2 do so, but again, I have no technique. I do it as I desire. When it comes to this track, I'm gonna go over the blind, but I'm gonna get it as close as possible, and I'm gonna make sure that it is flat. So when I make sure it's flat, I basically just hold the track down with my thumb. And the reason that I want it to be flat is because you don't want a lumpy wig. See, I dropped my thread. Y'all see how I started to curl? Y'all probably can't. I don't know how to work this camera yet. Hopefully y'all could see that. But yeah, I'm going to keep going until I finish the full track from one side to the next. And then I'm going to show y'all how I do the flip method because I don't cut my tracks. Notice how I'm trying to come down now? I was up, but then I came down. And then sometimes if I see that it looks loose, I kind of just stick my thread in it and pull it out. Be careful, it will not up. See? If you feel like it's not enough when you're pulling, just slow down. Slow down and just unwind. So one of these did not pull through. I'm going to pull it through myself. And then I'm going to sit here and I'm going to run my finger from inside the thread all the way to the needle to make sure they are even. What we did, or what I did, I went ahead and sewed all the way to the top of where that elastic band is. And I'm going to do the flip method. And I'm going to show you by hand first before I go ahead and do it. Before I actually do it. So basically, you want to find where the track is flat by itself. Like if you do this and it's feel bulky, nah. Find where you can, it just flat bends. Like it feels right. You know what I'm saying? And that's where you're going to flip it. So it looks like I got to go up a little bit more, which is no problem. So I'm going to do like maybe stitch down a little bit more. Maybe like 1 or 2. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and loop that one time to secure that row. Now, I find where the flip is and I go into that flip first. I go into it. And I loop once to secure. And then I'm going to go into it again, just slightly over. And I'm going to loop twice to secure. And I'm pressing it on the head because that's as flat as I want it to be. You want your flips to be almost kind of like, you know, like you cut it. But you didn't cut. And I'm going to do that twice. So basically, it's just going in once and in again. And then pull it through. I need to tighten that up, but give me a second. And pull it tight. She just moving too much for me. Okay. So, she's tight. Now, this is how my flip looks. It looks really small, really tight. It looks really flat, right? And now I'm just going to go ahead and stitch. Yeah, y'all see, she flat. She really flat. Stop playing with me. And then, so, okay, with your knot, pull them as tight as possible so that they can be flat too. You don't want big knots because you can feel it. Like when you rub your hair, you don't want to feel the knots on top of the tracks. You feel me? Okay, then I got 2 knots right there. I'm not going to knot it for a little while just to keep with the bulkiness. And I'm still going to do this one as tight to the next track because now I'm about to even out how the tracks go across to hide away the skunk tracks because remember we had to come to that one and then go above it. But this track is going to go right across. So, yep, we're just going to stitch. Alright, now I'm just going to stitch the head, y'all, because it's basically the same thing. I'm going to show y'all when I get closer to the ear part what you're going to do. But yeah, we're just going to go straight across. Like, this is considered 2. So I normally go up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, and then I start curving. But watching, you'll see. Alright, you guys, so this is one full pack of hair. I love 18 inches and less because you can get a full, thick wig with just 2 packs of hair with the closure. Now, if you were doing a frontal with 2 pack, it would be really thick. But this is one full pack of the natural black 18, no cutting, all flip method. I did go ahead and double stitch in some 613 right there in the middle because I felt like when it curled, I wanted to see it in the hair. And then we also got that skunk patch right in the back. Now, I'm going to do the same thing that I did in the back of the hair and in the front of the hair right here. This is where my ear is. So this one, this skunk patch is going to be like where the shebang bang at, but then this skunk patch is going to be right here where my ear is. So, so I'm going to add that and then we're going to finish the hair. Now, this is when, okay, so right now my tracks are just going straight across, but now I'm going to kind of like hook them. So I'll stitch up and then go across, stitch up and go across. And then just let the hair fall to the front instead of all the hair falling to the back. So I'm going to do the skunk patch first, and then I'm going to show y'all what I'm talking about as far as like curving the stitch. But yeah. Alright you guys, so I wanted to show you all what I did, and y'all are just going to have to watch me finish it. Basically, when you lay the tracks in the front of the head, instead of going straight across, you want to curve up a little bit. Then I actually did three blonde right there. technique skills. So the space in between are like an inch apart, so that way when I do stuff like this, I just do those really tight and it still lines with the track. So let me see, curve her this way, she's tight. So as you can see, it lines right with the track. Okay, so I'm here and I'm about to show y'all what I mean by curving it up. So take my placeholder out, I'm gonna put it up here. All right. Okay, pull that, go in, and I'm just going to work the line until it curve up. And I want it to curve up at least like 1/2 inch or so. I am going to use this full pack, so I don't want to put too much space. Sorry guys. Okay, hold it flat, remember, because you don't want it to bulk up. I'm gonna do one more, then I'll flip. Okay, you see it going up, right? When I flip, my flip is going to be going up as well. So I'm going into where I flipped at. I'm going to go in one more time, and I'm going to knot seal. I'm going to do 2, since I didn't do 1 at first. I'm going to pull it tight, and then I'm going to go with the curve around the head. Now y'all see how this part is coming up, so be aware of that because you want it to be flat. So I'm kind of like holding it down with my thumb to make sure it stays out, and I'm not pulling the net too far so it don't bunch up. And that's how you curve. And I'm going to just keep doing that until the wig is done. So I'm going to show y'all the final product. The girl is done, y'all. She is done. I was going to wash her again, but I'm about to just straighten her, flat iron her, cut her lace, and see what's really good. You know what I'm saying? So basically, I'm going to use heat protectant. And then I'm going to flat iron her. I'm going to straighten comb her. Y'all about to see. Pay attention. Alright you guys, so this is the wig, the unit, whatever we want to call it. Y'all, I gotta figure out how to, I think that's good. So yeah, this is the wig, this is the unit, whatever we're calling it. She is so cute, y'all. Okay, so to be honest, it's about 2 days later. I did wear this hair out on Saturday. I'm going to insert some videos and some pictures. But I love it. Like overall, she's a baddie. She's making it happen. Glueless. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed my first tutorial. I love you guys, and